This is Atlantic class Lifeboat 85. Approximate cost for the RNLI is £212,000. It has a crew of 3 or 4, so it can go to sea with 3, but normally it goes to crew with 4. There is the driver sits there, so they're in command of the lifeboat there, and they steer one-handed with one hand on throttles. The lifeboat can go approximately 32 knots, which is 35-40 miles an hour, depending on the sea conditions. Behind the driver, we have 2 crew. One is operating the radar system, one is operating a chart plotter. And behind that is crew number 4, which is assisting looking out for people in distress. We carry first aid equipment, so in the black cupboard at the rear, we've got oxygen, we've got a first aid box with various drugs that we're allowed to give to people. Good.
And this is where the lifeboat is kept.
We were sort of in the centre there, but they did green with their. Alright.
And that's all the spare stuff.
Hello, yeah, it will be your connect. Alright. So basically on the right hand side we've got our blue woolly bear. So this is just a kind of full suit. Under that we can wear whatever we want. If it's really cold, we'll wear jumper and trousers or some thermals.
Yeah.
If it's a really hot sunny day, we might just wear boxer shorts and that's it.
Yeah.
So we always have to wear the woolly bear because if we go in the water for a long time, that protects us heat-wise. So it's a sort of thermal layer.
Yes.
And then on top of the woolly bear, we have our dry suit.
Yes.
So this dry suit has got a few special features.
Yes.
So you can see that the boots are sewn in.
Yeah.
So they don't come away, so that's great. That sort of gives you real protection from the water.
Yeah.
The bottom of the boot is a non-slip surface, so it's strange. It doesn't look very good grip, but it's actually really brilliant grip. So that's good.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You can imagine if you're sort of walking along a rocky seabed to go to a casualty, you really want it to be gripping well.
Yeah.
Then in the sole of the boot, we've got, I think it's a steel sole.
Oh, wow.
So that's quite important because you can imagine that you stand on something, perhaps a metal spike, and then a bit of swell could come in. That'll lift you up from the water, and then when the swell goes, it's going to drop you down again on the metal spike. So you really need some protection on the bottom of your feet to. And they've also got steel toe caps in case something falls on them.
Yeah.
You can see we've got a couple of pockets here. So normally in the left-hand pocket with RNLI on, people put anything. That might be an extra pair of gloves, it might be a water bottle, something like that. And then on the right-hand side knee, you can see there we've got what we normally keep in there is our notebook.
Yep.
So, for example, I'll show you my notebook. This has got, this is where I'll write down, for example, the instructions from the Coast Guard as they're coming to, as we go out on the boat. They'll be instructing us to go to somebody who is on the Palace Pier, for example.
Yes.
You can see here I've got my Chinograph pencil. So these are like amazing pencils. They will write even in the wet. So as you can imagine, it's a stormy day. The sea's coming over the side.
Yeah.
You know, the notebook can get really wet, and so you sort of need that kind of thing. And you can actually see there as well that the someone's written long, so a sort of grid reference on their trousers there, and that's the Latin long for the marina entrance, I suspect.
Yeah.
So we often will write that down, so if we get in the fog or something, we're disorientated and we can still find the Latin long on the boat, we know which way to go back to the marina if all else fails.
Yeah.
Also on the dry suit, you can see it's got these elasticated cuffs.
Yeah.
So, and you can see on mine, there we've got the elasticated cuffs. We'll often wear gloves as well. And similarly on the neck, you can probably see on mine too that it's got an elasticated neck. So basically, if you go in the water, the things that are at risk are your hands and your head, and everything else is protected by the dry suit, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah.
So I guess the other bits of kit that we would wear are the life jacket and the helmet.
Yeah.
Can I pause you just for a second?
Okay, so this is the helmet that we wear when we're at sea.
Yeah.
So basically, whenever we're on the boat, we need to have the helmet on. The helmet's got a few different features. So it's got a torch.
Yeah.
So obviously that's important, and all the torches will at least have a white light and a red light. So the white light we don't use very much, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If I left the boat and I was going to search for somebody, I might use the white light, but you can't really have a very powerful torch, so you really need to know where they are.
Yeah.
The red light is what we would normally use if it's dark, because red light protects your night vision.
Yes.
So if we were looking for something on the boat, or if I was trying to make some notes on the chart on the boat to sort of say where we were or where I wanted to go,
Yes.
then I would use the red light to help me there.
Yes.
And sometimes we've got these cards that we would use, for example, the CASCare cards, which are our first aid cards.
Yeah.
Which we'll flip through if we're giving sort of first aid assistance to somebody.
Yeah.
And for those we'd often use the white light because there's bits of red on there, so if you've got the red light, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's the torch. Then we've also got this intercom wire, and so you can see we've got a headset here with a microphone. When I get on the boat, I can plug myself in.
Yes.
to the boat, and then I can speak to everybody on the boat.
Yes.
And the radio's got another setting where I can speak to, so I could choose just to speak to everybody on the boat, or I could choose to just speak to the Coast Guard, or I could choose to be able to speak to everybody, Coast Guard and everybody on the boat.
Yes.
So you've got some choices. So sometimes, for example, if we were very busy on the boat, I wanted to communicate with the Coast Guard, then I would just sort of select just to speak to them and then interrupt everybody else. And perhaps the Coast Guard had called us and they wanted to give us some information, and then I could just get that myself and everybody else could carry on. Or perhaps I just want to talk to everybody else. We could have a casualty that we need to deliver some assistance to. The casualty might be on the boat, but we don't want them to necessarily hear. We want to just communicate amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be. So that's quite handy.
Yeah.
We've got, so you can see this is an inflation tube. So inside the helmet, We've got some kind of inflation pad, so although we've got small, medium and large helmets,
Yeah.
they're not perfectly fitting, so you'll often inflate inside the helmet as well, just to make sure it's perfectly fitting, because you can imagine if you go to sea and it's really rough, everything's moving quite a lot, so you want everything to be as snug as you can. And then the helmet's got a visor, and you know, sometimes if there's waves coming over the side and you know, you're trying to sort of look out, it's quite personal. Some people like to have the visor down so the wave sort of hits them in the eye. That's, as you've been in the car, right, and you've seen it when it's raining, it's really annoying if you've got lots of raindrops on the screen, which is just like the visor, but at the same time at least it's not going in your eyes. And of course this is salt water, so it's sort of more irritating. Other people say actually it's better not to have the visor down because it goes in my eyes, but your eyes are quite good at getting rid of the water quickly, and then you can see again. So you know, it's just a sort of personal choice really what people do. This is, I can't really tell you anything about the helmet, but anyway, quite good. And then we've got the life jacket. So the life jacket is let's say an unusually buoyant. So this is a buoyancy aid and a life jacket. So formally speaking, a buoyancy aid will not normally inflate. It's just naturally buoyant when you're in the water. And this is got a little bit of buoyancy. But it's principally a life jacket. So when we go in the water, it doesn't automatically inflate. So the one you're wearing now, that will automatically inflate. This one wouldn't. Because I might want to swim around in the water, I might want to do lots of things, and I don't want the bulk and the inconvenience of that. But at the same time, if I do want to inflate it, I pull this red tag. And that's going to inflate there's a inside here, there's a kind of bladder which is going to inflate with air, there's a CO2 that it fills with, there's a container in there, and then that makes us buoyant to 380 newtons. So 380 newtons basically is 380 kilos, so that could be 3 people, like 3, 4, just trying to think, actually 5 full-size people my size, to keep them afloat. So obviously I've never been in a situation where I've had to go to 5 people in the water with no other support. But yeah, you can imagine that's an extraordinarily comforting to have that level of buoyancy. When we're fitting the life jacket, we sort of tighten these straps on the side, so that's kind of important. We tighten the zip at the front, and this kind of clip. And we also tighten these crotch straps as well, and that's important too, because that stops when you go in the water. If you didn't have these, of course it's very buoyant, so it's going to lift above your head, but so now that doesn't allow that. So that's awesome. Some other features that we've got this yellow yacht harness, we call it. So that's a length of rope about 1.5 meters, 2 meters long. It's got these clips on either side, which I can clip onto anything with, obviously, almost anything. So that can be really useful. To be honest, we try not to clip onto anything, because if we're going out in really rough weather and the boat sinks, you don't want to be attached to it. But there are some times when you might want to attach to that, or you might want to attach to, if we'd all gone overboard, you might want to attach to each other or something.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Inside the life jacket, we've also got here we've got a flare. This is my personal flare. So this has got smoke for the daytime. And a red flare for night. So these don't last very long, so they'll last about 18 seconds.
Okay.
So you basically want to be sure that whoever is coming to save you is pretty close,
Yeah.
as kind of knows the area you're in, but hasn't quite seen you, and you might want to
Yeah.
you know. So so night you've got the red flare.
Yeah.
Actually, both of them you can use in the night and the day, because they both give off. The red flare gives off, of course, lots of heat,
Yeah.
and the smoke is also very hot.
Yes.
And so if a helicopter was flying overhead with an infrared camera,
Yeah.
at day or night, it'd be able to pick you up. So there's a sort of extra level of security there, and you've got obviously both of them, so you could use that.
Yes.
In this pocket, we sort of tend to keep a variety of things. Actually, there's nothing in there. So, and then on this other side, we've got our personal locator beacon.
Ooh, what's that?
So this is like an amazing device
Yes.
that is a GPS tracker, basically. So if I activate this,
Yeah.
which I'm not going to do, then it sends a signal to the satellite, that goes to the Coast Guard,
Yes.
and then they're going to get a blip on their screen that someone's sort of activated this device.
Yeah.
Now, if they see someone's activated a device, then they might be thinking, right, that could be serious, or it could be just an accident.
Yeah.
You can imagine that if they see 4 devices activated at the same time, that's probably
Yes.
because the whole crew's gone overboard and we've all done it.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be thinking, right, that's not an accident, that is
Yeah.
serious. So they're going to come to that. So that's kind of pretty cool
Yeah.
to think you've got that
It is, yeah.
protection. And then the final thing that we've got, here in this big pocket are our CASCARE cards. So these
Yeah.
are the first CASCARE is just the first aid
Yeah.
equivalent for the RNLI, and these are our cards which we could go through if we are. Is that? We've got a shout. Right.
Oh.
Sorry. There we go.
You got a shout. Okay.
Okay. Lovely. All right then.
See you later. That's right. See you later. It was a false alarm. Don't worry. Yes.
Okay, so every time we launch, whether it's an exercise or an actual real tasking,
Yes.
we'll fill out this board and it explains to everybody what it is we're going to do, where we're going to go, what we're facing. So we have all of the information about our conditions here, the direction of winds coming in, the force
Yes.
of it, visibility and cloud cover, what time high tide is going to be.
Yes.
That's very important because it depends on which way people will be drifting.
Yes.
So today we're going to do a navigation pass-out test for John, one of the crew members,
Yep.
and a firefighting emergency procedures
Okay.
assessment for Rebecca.
Yep.
And we're going to be navigating 3 positions and staying in local waters. And this is the crew list, and we all have a crew number assigned to us.
Yes.
So we tell everyone here, and during the course of this, what we'll be doing is making sure everyone's fully kitted up.
Yep.
Has anyone got any bits dangling out? I don't, Chris does. And we have a look and make sure all of our buckles and clips are all together. So we have a little visual check. And once we're all happy that we're all in kit and we're all fit to go,
Yep.
we go.
Yes.
And that's it.
Boat's about to launch for a training exercise, and then we're going to go back in with that. It's very windy here today in Brighton. RNLI Brighton. You've got a lot of steps that they have to go down. Another one. I know this is quite a different transport video today, but it is about lifeboats, and that is a mode of transportation, especially when your life is at stake. So we're here in Brighton, and we're having a private tour of the RNLI base, and we're going to witness a launch. By the way, when the alarms went off before, that was a false alarm. That would have been quite scary if it wasn't. Everyone just rushed as soon as the alarm went off, everyone just rushed. And they thought they were going out on a shout out, or a call out. I think I can hear the boat. I can hear the boat. I was just wearing this. Oh yay. And that is how you launch an RNLI boat. Bye.
I think this is like a starter, like the child is a starter. I've never done it before. This is the first time I'm going to try doing it.
Maybe that's it.
So I think that's it. It's just like easy.
What about us? I used to get Hammy to walk through the market. They used to do me a hot dog, sausage and fresh bread. As soon as I arrived, she used to go to news. £20 then, please.
I got a uniform. And now I'm in McDonald's waiting for the crews to get back. And we just ordered breakfast. Yeah. Yay! So, obviously, please, there'll be a link in the description to the RNLI's website. I believe RNLI stands for Royal National Lifeboat Institution. I will correct myself if I'm wrong. But yeah. Please after this video, please go to the link in the description and please donate as much money as you possibly can to the RNLI, because they save lives. I think probably every day, because there was a shout out earlier this morning, like an actual shout out, then there was a false alarm shout out, and now they're on training. So they genuinely need money to help fund the equipment and training that they use almost all the time. So by getting this shirt, I have donated, my family have donated on behalf of me, because they bought it for me, £20 to the RNLI, and I will be donating out of my own money, as soon as I get home, some money to the RNLI. So please go to the link in the description and donate to them. They are generally amazing. You never know, you could need their help one day. It could be your family, it could be you, it could be someone you don't know, but yeah. Think about their families, like, they're risking their lives whenever, like, when the pager goes off, they're there, like, they will be there, day or night, they will be there. Think about their families, they are putting themselves at risk of a lot, injuries, maybe even death. Think about how their families feel, and if they don't have the right training, the right equipment, they won't be able to do their job, and they won't be able to save you, family, or anyone. So, yeah. Donate to the RNLI in the link below. This just looks so cool. Lifeboat Brighton. We was going to go to Weatherspoons, but we just decided to go to McDonald's, so it's a bit closer. Also, that lifeboat that we saw was donated by someone. I think it was a couple, and unfortunately they passed away, and they left, I think it's a quarter of their assets to the RNLI. I think that's what they said. Yeah, and the lifeboat was called quite a weird name, and they haven't been able to figure out why it was called that. I'll give you some more information on that later on. And there they are. They just waved to me, that was so funny. They're going back to the base over there now. Oh, maybe not. They're doing donuts in the sea. Look at that. They're doing donuts in the sea. Look at that. Anyway, I think they're going back to base now. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and leave any comments down below. This is UK Transit signing off from RNLI Brighton, or Lifeboats Brighton. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to donate to the RNLI in the link in the description. Thank you. See you later.